Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Dylan Explains Everything. My name's Dylan. In case you couldn't tell by the title, I'm the one explaining everything, including the topic of today, an update on Dylan Explains Everything. So, I've already recorded this episode, but I didn't like my recording, so I'm redoing it. But I'm going to do this without a script because I feel like it needs to be a genuine conversation rather than just a story or whatever. But I've got three main kind of things I want to talk about. It's not the end of Dylan Explains Everything, don't worry. There's just some changes that I'm thinking about making and just some things that I want to just kind of throw out there. So this will be kind of going over that. And I know I said originally that this episode would be a story that I read, but I don't have a story to read. I was thinking about maybe reading one of mine, and maybe I will. I just think that my stories are kind of awful, so I don't like reading them. But maybe I will if you guys want to see that. Feedback is really important to me, and I want to know what you guys enjoy, and that's really what a lot of this comes down to. Is I just want to know what you guys enjoy. If you have a story that you'd like me to read, feel free to email me. My email is always in the description of my videos. It's DylanExplainsEverything@gmail.com. So the first major point that I kind of want to talk about in this video or this podcast, I should say, is sharing, right? So I am definitely after I make this episode, I'm definitely gonna up my kind of my spreading the word game on this, because I feel like I haven't really spread it a ton. Like, people hear me talking about it and not even ask oh, well, what's the name of your podcast? And I can't expect that because they don't know what my podcast is, so why would they ask about it? So I need to reach out to more people, and that's entirely on me. But what I am kind of requesting is, if you want to support the channel and you like it and stuff, the best thing that you can do is just tell all your friends, any gathering you're at, just tell everyone. But seriously though, telling people about Dylan Explains Everything and then spreading that. I personally don't really love social media. I have left all social media except YouTube and Spotify, if you count that. But I just don't like social media, and I am talking to one of my friends about maybe being my kind of social media manager. And just once a week, when I upload something, or maybe twice a week when I upload something, and then also teasing it ahead of time. Just uploading something onto some social medias, so maybe you'll start seeing those kind of pop up, and I'll give an update if they do. But overall, I just don't use them a lot, so this channel almost entirely relies on word of mouth and people kind of telling each other about it, which is why it's so important that I tell people about it as the kind of manager of the show, and that's why I also ask that you guys think about telling people about it. But yeah, so that's kind of the first main point I wanted to kind of talk about. The second one is some ideas I have for the future. So there are certain episodes that I've kind of noticed haven't done as amazing, and we'll kind of see with the next one. We'll officially have 2 of each, and then I've also got my old episodes that I can kind of look at as kind of a reference. I think that I just got some different ideas that I want to try and kind of see how they go. So the first one, and please let me know in comments or in emails, or if obviously most of you know me in real life, so telling me face to face, just kind of giving me feedback on these ideas. The first one being longer episodes. So I know that I generally stick to about 20-ish minutes. Sometimes I get closer to 30, sometimes it's closer to 15. I generally stay around that mark because I've got a lot. I've got my standard intro with the word of the week and the fun trivia fact, which I'm thinking about dropping pretty much because I think that it's kind of boring, and I don't think people really enjoy it that much, and that's kind of what it's all about, and I don't think people learn a ton from it. But I've been thinking about doing longer episodes because I've been listening to some podcasts and informed about podcasts, and a lot of them are really long, and I wouldn't go as long as they do, because I listened to one that I would highly recommend. It's Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. I only listened to one episode. I'm listening to another one now, but each episode's like 5 hours long at least. And so it's like a journey to get through that, but like you get to the end and you're like, wow, I've learned something. And I don't like that long of a length as the person who would be recording the podcast. That's a lot of time. I would have to like shorten the amount of time, or I guess lengthen the amount of time between each episode by a lot. It would be more like monthly or twice a month videos, bi-weekly, I guess. So it would definitely, that's not gonna happen. But I was thinking like just to have a few mega episodes where it's just like an hour long, something I really enjoy and know a lot about, and can just kind of bring to you guys so that you guys can learn more about it, and hopefully think more about it, hear a different perspective on it, whatever. Because that's kind of like the main point of this channel, is that I'm in this podcast, is that I'm trying to do what you guys enjoy, while still providing something that is, if not educational, then something that at least helps you grow, whether that be as a person or mentally, with your kind of like, thinking. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to hear, whatever, opinions, or just kind of stringing events together and kind of making connections that you might not have thought of before, looking at different perspectives, maybe even challenging something that you thought was true before and looking at either why it's true or why it might not be, or whatever. And I think that right now I'm not doing that a ton. I'm providing a lot of like knowledge based stuff, but I'm not providing a lot of connections. I'm not providing a lot of why. I'm not providing what I think about it. And I think that is imperative to kind of getting people thinking about what they think about it. So I do think that longer episodes with that kind of like vibe to them could be really nice. And there's a few different topics that I could see myself doing that with, having like at least an hour. And obviously I don't expect anyone to listen to like a full hour of me talking just straight up, like in a row. That'd just be insane. But you break it up, like at the episode I listened to that was like over 5 hours. It took me like a few weeks to finish it. So it would be more like that, where it's like over the course of a week, you drive to work. Let's say you've got 15 minutes to go to work and then 15 minutes back. Over the course of 2 to 3 days, you should, obviously I'm not expecting you to just play my podcast all the time, but if you wanted to, you could just listen to it over the course of a couple days, and that'd work. But that's my first major idea. That's my first kind of idea. The second one is reviews. I've already kind of dipped my toes in the waters of reviewing things, and I don't know. I don't want to make the show, just Dyllon reviews everything. I don't want to make it like that. I would love to have it be a part of the kind of Dyllon explains everything vibe, though. So I do think that's possible. Reviewing movies, TV shows, games, kind of just opening up that whole can of worms. I'm not in any way, shape, or form a qualified critic. It's just, I think, in a certain way, everyone is, in my opinion, because we all have our kind of opinions on what's good, what's bad, and why we think that. And I don't think that that's necessarily necessary to form our own opinions, but I do think it helps us kind of understand maybe why we like something, or help us find things that we may enjoy as well. So I do think reviews can be very helpful. Another thing that kind of ties into the first idea is just scriptless episodes. Normally I go based off of a bullet point. What I would maybe consider doing is doing episodes that are more like, I have evidence and I have my own knowledge from whatever the subject is, and then I just go. And I might do research beforehand and like compile a list of stuff, and then during I might like do some research on the fly if I think of something, and then like, just kind of go based off of that. But that would, once again, going back to the whole idea of like focusing on the connections between things and opinions, and just kind of that kind of idea and why and perspective. And I think that those are all much more easily accomplished through a much more scriptless, freeform kind of episode. So those are my main ideas, right? Which is like the second main point of this whole episode, like update thing. And the third biggest thing that I want to cover is Christmas, right? So I do have episodes lined up all the way to December 17th, right? So I've got those ready. And then after that, I'm not going to do one on the 24th, except maybe I'll read like 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. That thought did cross my mind. And if you want to see that, once again, the whole idea of feedback, right? I would love to do that for you guys if that's something that you'd want me to do. But I don't know if you'd want me to do that. So just let me know. I'd be willing to do that, but overall, like, not a big episode for Christmas Eve. I don't expect people to be listening to me talk on Christmas Eve. So, that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I won't be, unless I do like that story, but that's just brief, but like no major episode on Christmas Eve. And I'm thinking I will also not do anything for New Year's, because I feel like, once again, that's not like a good time to listen. Oh man, it's New Year's. Let me just plug in some Dyllon Explains Everything. What's Dyllon explaining this year? It's, I feel like it'd be better to just wait. So those 2 weeks, I'm not going to do anything. But then once we get into January, I'll probably start uploading like normal again. And then during that time, I can also work on like these ideas and getting some episodes made that I might like or not like and use or not use or whatever. So just be looking out for these changes. Like I said, I've got the next few episodes already made. So pretty much up to episode 7 will be just like normal, just like what you're used to. And then from then on, I'm going to start implementing some of these ideas, as well as some other things, like taking out the word of the day and the trivia of the day. Unless you guys really want me to keep that, let me know what your thoughts are on all of this. This is just kind of my ideas and my updating you on what I'm thinking. So thank you all for listening to this. I know it was like 12 minutes of me talking about the future of a podcast that, in all honesty, a lot of people probably don't care a ton about, and that's okay. I appreciate those of you that listen to this, and I thank all of you for listening to me in all the episodes that you listen to of me. So let me know your thoughts, and be sure to share and all that. So thank you. My name's Dylan, and I explain everything.